All right, let's pull back the curtain on a system that decides where billions of your pesos go. It's supposed to be building our country, right? But as we're about to see, it's hiding a massive secret, right there in plain sight.
Okay, so it all kicks off with this major event. Back in 2013, the Supreme Court brought down the hammer. They declared the entire infamous pork barrel system unconstitutional. Huge news, right? A massive win. The system was dead. Or at least that's what we all thought. And that right there is the big question, isn't it? If the old system was officially killed off, where did all that political power and all that taxpayer money actually go? It couldn't have just disappeared.
Well, the truth is, it didn't disappear. Not even close. It just got a very, very clever makeover. A rebrand, if you will.
So let me introduce you to the Allocables. Sounds kind of boring and bureaucratic, right? But what it really means is simple. It's a guaranteed chunk of the budget from the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, for every single congressional district. And here's the real kicker. The local lawmaker is the one who effectively controls where that money goes.
One of the sources we looked at just nails it with this quote. It's not some new, complicated system. It's the exact same animal. It's just been dressed up in a new costume so it can walk around in public without anyone noticing.
So, you've got to be asking, how does this whole thing work? How do they pull this off, year after year, right under our noses? Let's break down the mechanics. You know, what's so wild is just how little has actually changed. I mean, look at this. The old pork barrel and the new Allocables, they're functionally identical. Money set aside for lawmakers? Check. Lawmakers picking the projects? Check. The money guaranteed in the budget? Check. It's the same system, just with a new, less controversial name.
The process itself is actually pretty slick. First, the executive branch decides on a budget ceiling for each district. Then, the DPWH basically sends a note to the local lawmaker saying, hey, here's how much you have to spend. Then, that lawmaker gets to go shopping from a DPWH menu of projects. Roads, buildings, things like that. Their picks get slipped right into the president's big budget proposal, which then sails through Congress. And just like that, you've got district-level pork legally baked into the national budget from the start.
So how do they decide who gets how much? Well, officially, there's a formula. But this is where the whole thing goes from kinda shady to totally secret. It's called the BBM parametric formula. It stands for Baselined, Balanced, Managed. Sounds super official, doesn't it? Very technical, very fair. It's designed to make you think it's all based on objective math. But here's the reality. It's a complete black box. There's no public explanation for how this thing actually works. The criteria it uses, we have no idea how they're weighted. It is completely non-transparent, and get this, it even has vague criteria built in that can be used to funnel extra cash to certain districts. And this really just says it all, doesn't it? The source claims that allegedly there is only one undersecretary in the entire DPWH who actually understands how this multi-billion peso formula works. Just one person. Let that sink in.
So let's see what happens when this secret formula meets the real world. What are the consequences of a system that nobody can even explain?
The data here is just staggering. Okay, look at Ilocos Northe's 1st District, represented by Sandra Marcos. It's got a population of about 320,000 people, and it received roughly 1.1 billion pesos. Now compare that to Rizal's 1st District, population 1.2 million, that's almost 4 times bigger. Their allocation was nearly half of that, at around 600 million pesos. This makes absolutely no sense if you're basing it on population or need. The money is clearly following political power, not people.
And if you think that's the whole story, oh no, we're not done yet. Beyond these allocables, there's another, even murkier bucket of money called non-allocables. And this is where it becomes a total free-for-all.
Now, these funds are supposed to be for big, strategic national projects. But according to whistleblowers, this is where powerful lawmakers and officials just slip in their own pet projects. It's even alleged that some contractors pay kickbacks before the budget is even approved, basically buying projects ahead of time. In fact, this is the very system that was tied to that infamous 579 million peso cash payoff scandal.
So with scandals like this and data that's this shocking, you have to wonder, why doesn't this system ever just break? Well, the simple answer is, it was built to survive. It's designed to adapt.
Just look at the big flood control scandal. Massive corruption gets exposed, it's all over the news. So does Congress finally get rid of allocables? Nope, they just changed the labels.
The money that was for flood control just got rerouted to other public works projects, or maybe even to a totally different government agency. The system didn't die, it just changed its clothes and kept on walking.
And here's the system's ultimate survival tactic, making absolutely sure no one can ever really follow the money. And this isn't a mistake or an oversight, it is a core feature of the design.
It's a three-pronged defense. First, the DPWH refuses to release the lists of who actually proposed which projects. Second, lawmakers who might have those lists, they keep them private. And finally, those crucial end-of-the-line budget meetings where all the deals are finalized, they happen behind closed doors. You see, without knowing who the proponent is, you can never truly hold anyone responsible.
Okay, so we've just gone through a really complex web of budgets, secret formulas, and backroom meetings. But let's bring it all home. What does this actually mean for you? For all of us? Why should you care?
Let's just state the bottom line as clearly as we can. Pork barrel was not abolished. It was re-engineered to be legal. Our national budget, your money, is being handed out based on political power, not public need. Taxpayer money has been turned into a tool to reward political allies and to punish anyone who steps out of line. The system isn't just broken, it's been completely captured by political interests.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. It's a question we all need to ask ourselves. If the very system that's supposed to build our nation, our roads, our schools, our flood defenses, is deliberately designed to be a secret, then who is it really being built for? Whose interests does it truly serve?